everyone, welcome back to another video. So I've been using Vinted for about a year and I've mentioned it on a few of my online income stream profit update videos, and I've had a few people message and leave comments asking about if I think Vinted is any good. So I thought I'd just make this video going over what I've made in the past year, what I like about it, what I don't like about it, and if I think it's worth your time. So first I'll show you how much I've sold and what I've made. So on Vinted you get a yearly income report, which is really cool, where it lists out everything you've sold, the dates that you sold them and how much for, which is really handy. So I listed my first item in April of 2021, so it's not been a year yet, but near enough. And you see all the items that I sold here and how much for and everything. And I barely used it in 2021 because it was new. I wasn't really sure about it. I was more focused on eBay, and so I didn't want to add someone else into the mix because I just didn't have the time. So I barely had anything listed. I only sold a few items a month. I wasn't sure if it was just vintage items, you know, because it's called Vinted. So I didn't know if it was going to be more like Etsy, where it's like vintage homeware and stuff, or if it was going to be more like Depop with like the cool 90s retro stuff. So I really wasn't sure what to put on there, so I didn't use it that much. But I sold 37 items with an average selling price of £6.30, and my total was £233.50. So that's not super exciting, but that's not for a whole year, and that was just, you know, with the 10 items listed or something like that. But this year, 2022, is that the year? This year has been a different story because I started using it more, and I started listing different things, and I started using Zip Sale to cross list some of my items onto there. But mainly what I've used it for is I've been clearing out my house, clearing out my kids' bedrooms and putting their old stuff onto Vinted. And I do think it's a great place to get rid of kids' stuff, coats, stuff like that seems to go really quickly. So since January, so like the last 9 or 10 weeks, I've made about £200. I'll add up my withdrawals and put the exact amount, but it's about £200. And this is made up of like second-hand items that I would have thrown away, stuff like kids' clothes, my own clothes, things that I've literally been selling for like £2, £3, £5 each. And before, I wouldn't have even bothered trying to sell any of that stuff because, you know, we don't really wear branded clothes or anything expensive. So you wouldn't have thought, you know, some kid's Primark jumper would be worth selling. But the amazing thing about Vinted is that there are no fees. There's no listing fees, final value fees, postage fees, nothing at all. So whatever you sell something for, that is exactly how much you'll get in your bank. And things like the kids' clothes have mainly sold like very quick. You know, like I put one of my son's jackets on, I think it was like 2 days. I only listed it and sold it for £3. I think it was like a Sainsbury's 2-year-old coat or something like that. But them little amounts really do add up. So here's how it works with the fees and stuff. You list an item, which is really easy to do, and instead of the sellers paying a fee, the buyers pay a buyer protection fee as well as the postage cost. So as a seller, you literally list your item and then you get sent a postage label, and that's your job done. So there are a few different postage options, and when you list an item, it'll ask you at the bottom if it's like clothing, it'll say is it small, medium or large parcel. So small would be like, you know, a really small t-shirt, medium would be like a coat, and large would obviously be like, I don't know, a huge coat. So when the buyer buys that item, they also pay for that label, and you get sent the prepaid label, so all you got to do is print it off and stick it on the parcel. The other really good thing is that you get 5 working days to send your item. Other selling platforms I've used, they always push the, you know, super fast delivery and the next day or 2-day dispatch time, and whilst it's understandable because everyone wants their item, it is that pressure like to get everything out on time, and sometimes life happens and you just can't get to the parcel shop. This just takes away that stress. I mean, I usually send things anyway between 1 or 2 day dispatch time, but it just takes away that pressure. So once you've posted your item, it's all tracked and stuff, and once it gets delivered and the buyer's all happy with it, that money gets released from pending and put into your account, and you can withdraw it with no withdrawal fees, nothing. So my main pros about why I love Vinted: it's really easy to list and it's completely free. The postage is so easy, you don't have to worry about anything because you get the label and then you use it and it's all tracked and stuff. The platform itself seems to be growing in popularity, and they don't just sell clothes, you can sell books, you can sell toys. They've opened up to household items, which I just randomly sold a photo frame that I've had like in a drawer for I think for years actually. I've had this photo frame. It's not like branded or anything, but I sold that on there. I think it was only £3. But I mean, something that's just been sat there for years. So that's really cool. You can have a proper clear out of like your entire house and just shove loads of stuff on there for free. Also, the other thing is the people. I've come across really nice people on Vinted. I don't know what anyone else's experience is like, but everyone that I've come across and every customer I've had and everyone I've bought from has just been really nice. There was one woman that bought an item from me and it didn't fit, and she was still just really nice about it. So that makes a really nice change, because I don't know what it is about eBay, but a lot of a lot of buyers are just rude. Okay, the cons. There are some cons with Vinted. It's not all like sunshines and rainbows. And the main con is the cheap prices. So if people expect things to be super cheap on there. I haven't even attempted to list anything that's, more expensive or higher value, just because for one thing, I wasn't sure about the platform and how good like the customer service will be and stuff, so I don't want to be like losing money. So far I've just sold like really cheap things that I don't think I could sell anywhere else. Like Primark coats or Primark jumpers, they're a hard sell and they sold really quick on Vinted. So even though it is really cheap prices, I mean, I've got something listed for, I think it's £2, and I got an offer yesterday of £1.20. So I can't really speak on what it would be like to sell higher quality, more expensive items, because I just haven't done it and been using it more as to clear stuff and clear old stuff and clear my kids' stuff. That's all I've used it for, and it's absolutely brilliant for that. Now for the actual business sellers, Vinted are rolling out something called Vinted Pro, and it's for business sellers. It's for people who are wanting to sell more high volume, not just clearing out your house. And when I saw this I was a bit worried, because I thought, here we go, we're going to get some business fees, we're going to get selling fees, but I've double checked it and no, it's still going to be completely free, which is amazing. The only reason to sign up for it is if you are a business seller, you have to comply with certain regulations, and this Vinted Pro just gives you a pro badge, so it lets people know that you are a business. You have to offer 14-day returns, which I'm pretty sure you have to offer returns anyway selling on Vinted, I don't know. You have to be registered as a business or sole trader or whatever. And like with eBay, it just means you have to have a business address and be able to be contacted. Last time I checked on this Vinted Pro, it was only available in France. I just checked on it again this morning and it seems like vinted.co.uk/pro is a thing now, so you can do it in the UK. So the business number it's asking for, is it like Senate or something? It's the French version of like the UTR number. So I'm still unsure what we do in the UK, because it's not the same amount of numbers in the UTR as it is in this French version. I've looked online, can't find anything about it, so I've messaged Vinted and we'll see what they come back with. But it's very exciting, because last time I checked it wasn't vinted.co.uk/pro. So obviously now it is being rolled out into the UK and it's going to be amazing. So for me, it's already become a rival for eBay for selling secondhand clothing. There's stuff that I've sold on Vinted I won't even list on eBay, because it'd be absolutely pointless. I'd never sell something on eBay that was like £1, £2, £3. You're probably going to come out of it owing them money in terms of fees and postage and everything. So as long as Vinted remain free for sellers and for business sellers, I'm so excited about it, because I can see how much it's growing, and we have needed a rival for eBay for a long time. So maybe Vinted can be it. I hope so. But let me know if you use it, if you've tried it, if you like it, and if you don't, let me know if you've got any horror stories from Vinted, because I haven't had one yet. Maybe I'll try some higher quality, more expensive items and see what happens. But yeah, I hope that answers some of your questions, and I'll see you in the next video.